cool. So, hey everyone.
Hey there. We're back.
We're back.
Actually, we're back because you're going to,
I'm gonna go sip on some pina coladas and have a couple margaritas in Cancun. And you already know, I told you off camera, I'm pissed. Can't believe you're not going.
Well, wow. Hey, you gotta, don't you have to earn those?
You earned it. You earned it. You just have to sign up and go. Good grief.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I am kind of pissed off at him a little bit because we are going to miss next week because I'm going to be in Cancun on a Beachbody paid trip. And I had this idea of us doing these videos on the beach in Cancun. And it is his fault if you don't see the videos next week. So, anyways.
Yeah,
I'm throwing it all on you.
Blame it all on me.
Yeah, no, I'm completely throwing it on you. So,
I'm not really big on going to Cancun. No, I'm just kidding.
Stop. Get out of here with that crap. Okay, so
I want to say this real quick. You know what him and I talk about is totally unscripted. But it's unscripted to the point that we don't have any information that we're reading up on. We just kind of discuss the topic that we're going to talk about, and then we talk about it.
And we literally just discussed the topic we're going to talk about like 5 minutes ago. Like, I mean, not even that, right? It was like really like 3 minutes ago. Look, we've both been in business for a long time, and the truth of the matter is that business is business. There doesn't need, at least for us, there doesn't really need to be any, any reading of anything. It's just experience, right?
I mean, we're always reading, though.
Well, no.
Just get that
we do a lot of development of ourselves
right.
to be better in business, to be better in life, to be better in communicating with people. But what I'm trying to say is that we have a lot of experience with the things that we are talking about. So it's just rapping about like our experiences. And
life.
Life. And I want to segue into what I was just telling you about, that I did a team call for, I believe the team is Velocity Fitness. And it's one of my upline coaches for her team. And they extended it out to our big upline team.
What's an upline?
What's that? It's an upline?
Some people don't know.
Oh, okay. So upline is basically coaches that are above you in whatever organization that you're a part of. So basically, I did this call, and they wanted to know from me, being a business owner of Renewal Rehab, having 2 clinics, and then being a home-based business owner, what were the similarities and differences? And so I went through a few of them. I had to think for a little bit, but again, that was kind of an off-the-cuff thing. And so I did have a couple of differences with being a Beachbody coach versus having my business. But to be honest with you, there's a lot more similarities. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to throw out some of the differences and a couple of similarities, and I'll just throw it over to you and see if you have anything different. So a couple of the differences. Investment in Beachbody for me was $150. Mm-hmm. I became a distributor right away, had my sites up and all the other stuff.
Right.
Investment for my physical therapy business was $100,000.
Right.
Continual investment on a monthly basis as a Beachbody coach really is about $150. I mean, if you want to call Shakeology an investment, for me, I'm going to do that regardless. If you take that away, it's really like $25 a month with my business fees and the club membership.
Right. For
physical therapy, my monthly cycling fees are about $75,000.
Yeah.
So the investment's a huge thing.
Definitely.
In order to be a very good physical therapist, you have to know how to fix broken people. Okay. You don't even have to like them. You just have to be very good at, technically, right? You have to be very good, have very good, technical skills. To be a very good Beachbody coach, and especially to have a good team, you have to be an incredible supporter.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do that in physical therapy. I mean, I don't really have to support. I mean, no, at the end of the day, I've had there's clients that don't necessarily care for me, but they'll stay with me because I'm very good at my trade. I'm very good at my skill set. Right? You've heard of good doctors and you know what, right? Okay.
Yeah. It happens when you go to a restaurant.
Right, exactly. If you like a restaurant, waiter's not that, but you just love the food there, you're gonna probably go back, right? I mean, you don't have to, but you know. Anyways, so those were just a few of the differences that I said, but the similarities in both businesses. This is something that you had told me a couple weeks ago, is that you gotta treat it like a job.
Right.
Right? You really do have to treat it like a job, because a lot of times people think that in business, they're like, oh, wow, you have a business? Wow, you have 2 businesses? It's like, oh, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. No, it doesn't really work like that. Right. Like, you have to buckle down in both businesses. The problem with being a Beachbody coach is because the investment is so little, it's so easy to say, I'm not going to work on that today.
Right.
Right? With Renewal Rehab, you can't take a day off. The operations has to run. Even though I might not be doing all the working pieces of it, like everything has to go, because we are already, I was telling this to on camera, I'm sorry, on the call, April 1st, I had $11,100 that I owed.
Right.
By April 7th, $38,000 already. You know, you're just like, whoa, okay, we have to move. There's no off days. As a coach, after you sell your first whatever challenge pack or what, you know, whatever it is that you sell in a month, or you have all those recycling orders that are coming through month to month, like you've already broken even.
Right.
That's a blessing and that's a curse.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So anyways, those are some of the things that I told them. I don't know if you have a different, you know, you've had different businesses than physical therapy, but is there anything else you would say as differences versus similarities?
Man, where do I start?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, really, you know, you pretty much, you covered a lot of what people need to hear. I think for the most part, when it takes more energy, I think. You know, when you're in a traditional, and I say this all the time, and this is kind of my saying, is that in traditional business, I don't want to keep pressing reset every week, every month. And what I mean by reset is that, I mean, my focus, like I used to be pretty much, I used to try to do multiple companies, you know, and if I start a company, you know, I did real estate and mortgages for 12 years, and that was my, you know, what most people would call bread and butter, you know, and so, but I had other small businesses that I'd still, you know, be doing on the side, but my focus was the real estate or the mortgages. So anyway, having a mortgage, like he said, just to start a mortgage or a business like that. I mean, everybody knows the Wells Fargos and the Chases of the world. I mean, obviously we weren't that big, but you know, the initial having a building, having employees, having mortgage people, you know, all of those things, the compliance. And here was the other, and I'll get into this real quick, but you know, as a mortgage lender, we actually were responsible. So I actually had to sell those loans to a large lender, the first mortgage, and then I was responsible if the mortgage went bad. So if the mortgage goes bad, okay, so think about that. You do a mortgage, it's $200,000. You're the mortgage lender. Okay, so we'd be called the correspondent, but in my case, I was the actual mortgage lender, so I underwrote the loan. So it was my responsibility to go, okay, this loan was underwritten by me based on that particular bank's guidelines. Okay, so I had to make sure that those guidelines measured up every detail, and then I would sell the loan to them.
If the loan went bad, if you say it's on you, what would happen?
I'd have to buy the loan back.
Wow. Okay.
So that's the difference, is that here's what he's saying. You know, to be a Beachbody distributor is that it's plug and play. it's already done, you know, and really the systems are already in place. So we make it harder than what it actually really
Needs
is.
to be, right.
And I, you know, I wasn't as blessed as a lot of people where they had the opportunity of working in a business or maybe a corporate job where they kind of steal the information and go, oh, I can start my own business doing
Right.
this. You know, I had to create, like you, I had to create my own plan. And believe me, when you create a plan, it doesn't always fly exactly how it needs to be fly.
Right.
But with what we do, it's just, we get paid to two things. And, you know, we get paid to do two things. And we've heard that from a lot of people, but in one in particular, rest in peace to him, but he always talks about you get paid to do two things, retail and recruit.
That's
And
it.
if you can do that, you're pretty much going to be in the positive
Right.
your first week.
Right. We make it, we overcomplicate it
Right.
so much. Overcomplicated.
Right.
Golly. Just real quick before we finish this video. My first website that I did cost me, I think it was like $2,500.
Oh, I know, right? It's crazy.
You know that my
That's
first
exorbitant.
website, like I look back at it now, I actually had just learned how to screenshot, like when I was getting rid of the site and moved to our next site, and now we have a new one. But our first renewalrehab.com cost me $2,500 to do. And the Beachbody website that they give you is so much more user-friendly, and they're changing it, by the way, but it's so much more user-friendly, much more appealing visually.
Right.
And you get it for $15.95 a month.
$15.
$15.95.
$15.95. So 15.95. But that pretty much covers everything.
Think about it. Just this is why, like, it baffles me when people even complain about this. So my current website that I have now, okay,
Right.
I spent a pretty penny,
Right.
just launched it this past Tuesday, right? Every month, it costs me $30 just to host it.
Right, of course.
Just to host it. Not to maintain. I mean, I can pretty much maintain and upgrade it and whatnot, but when it gets a little complicated, I need to bring somebody else in. Just to host the site, it's $30. Really, to host anywhere, it's at least $15 to $20.
Right.
Most of the time, closer to $30.
I mean,
You're
unless you
paying
can do it yourself.
$15.95.
Yeah.
That's including, like,
That's
I just think people have no concept of business,
Yeah.
and that's tough. Anyways, all right, that's it for that one, and we'll talk more on this in a little bit.